December 17, we got our first bulkhead done, cut a few frames. We got 13 frames done in about 2 weeks. It was a blast. We learned a lot from it. Of course there's snow on the ground. We're in Colorado. That's what we do. These couple months we had worked on the keel. Got some baffles done, getting ready to lay it down. We had to have a keel laying party. Family came over. We honored the gods, drank a little bit. Actually ended up getting drunk the whole night. That was a lot of fun. The keel was a pain in the butt.
Bobby, Sightmaster. There's our keel coin that we put underneath the keel. Some serious drinking. And the crew, including the namesake, my little sister Dorothy. We got quite a bit done. It was cool to finally see some stuff being stacked on the keel posts.
Hey look, it's Ross. We had to have him come help us. We were having a hard time with getting it all sealed up and whatnot. We are now starting to stack frames. That would be the very first bulkhead. Mike and Bobby had come out to help us. We weren't quite sure how many people we were going to need to do it. We had lasers and all this other fun stuff out to try and make sure that these frames were really square. Three square frames. Why am I smiling like that? I look like a squirrel.
Because, Princess, you are a squirrel. This is the crew that helped us out that day, everybody involved. Then we started stacking the rest of the frames. Once everybody left, the next weekend we started stacking the rest of the frames.
Getting the last few frames in. Same procedures until they were all placed. Now, Lady Dew looks more like a boat. She's got ribs. So pretty. It's time to get some stringers done. All the top done, we gotta get the sides done, everything wrapped. That was a new fun thing to learn how to do. Even though I just stood around most of the time, watched the guys do it, and then I just welded stuff, but you know. The transom was a little out of place, so we had to pull it off and redo it, but he got it. Getting ready to put the shaft log. How he ended up doing this was ridiculous. He pulled this off without a hitch, got it in there perfect. It was insane. I had nothing to do with this. He did that all himself. It was great. Still looks really good. Don had ordered his new engine for the boat, and we had to get that in before we got too far in actually building the boat, or wouldn't have been able to get it in. So his new parts had arrived, and he was just out there playing with them for a couple days. Now it's time to go see Doug!
Doug was good people. I really enjoyed being around him. I enjoyed working on his boat. It was well worth the trip and well worth the experience.
Engine's here. Gotta make some engine mounts, make sure it can fit.
I wanted beefy engine mounts, and I think I ended up with them. That's 3/8 inch plate steel.
So, little known thing, that hole right there in the floor we're pushing the engine through, I didn't know it was there for a while, kept walking around it. Lucky me, never fell through it. Now that it's covered, so Sarah won't fall through it.
There I'm double checking the alignment of the engine to the shaft log, and then we started building the Propwash. That was 3/8 inch plate steel with a complicated cut to get it to fit properly around the shaft log. It was a pain.
It may not be the prettiest boat. It won't be the largest boat. but it's going to take me around the world. And I built it myself.
Tank! Fuel tanks, lots of fun.
This is our second attempt at welding watertight welds. The keel was also watertight, but it was 3/8-inch plate steel, so getting these watertight was another adventure. During this break, Doug had asked if he could do an interview of me and Sarah and our boat build, so obviously we agreed.
The mind of a boat builder. Don and Sarah, my friends, actually came out here and helped me work on Seeker here. But people think I'm crazy because I'm building a boat in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Most people know Tulsa is in the middle of the country, but we actually have a waterway that makes it all the way to Tulsa. They are in Pueblo, Colorado. There's no waterway. So it's going to be one of their issues, and they already know about it. But Don and Sarah are father and daughter, and together they are building Lady Do, which is a modified George Bueller designed diesel duck. Steel with a small diesel engine in it, going to travel the world. You'll enjoy their story.
We're building a hybrid, so to speak, diesel duck 44 by the late great George Bueller. It's 44 foot long. The original one came in two versions, the original and then an Evo. The Evo was for steel boats, so mine is more like the Evo version, but with the transom and pilot house of the original. So I kind of did a hybrid of them both to get the boat that I want. It'll be 44 foot long, 14 foot beam, draft of about 5 foot. I've got a John Deere 4045 diesel motor put into it that has no electronics, no turbo, on purpose. And I plan on doing a couple laps around the world in it.
The hatch. Again, one of those things I didn't participate. Here's Paul, a friend of my dad's that had come in from California, and he stayed with us for a little bit to help out.
Running the chine bars. Those were 1-inch thick solid round bar that we got stabbed in.
If I remember right, this is when we started about running out of steel, so we're finding little dinky things to do. Dad's getting the front of the boat here finished up. Get a couple pipes up. Those didn't take much. But because we're starting to run out of steel, we're going to find dinky things to do, and a lot of it ended up being, like here he's working on a piston. Cutting out notches for stringers. Just little things that needed to be done that we didn't really want to do. So I had forgotten that I had a camera on me, and I was sitting there looking at it, wondering what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do this. That's okay, I can figure this out. Maybe, maybe not. Nope, we got it. Now it's time to start working on the bottom stringers. Those were a little bit more difficult than the ones on the side because you have to lift them up, and getting them wrapped around the front there is kind of a pain. He's got to use all kinds of stuff to even get it to fit so he can weld it. The first plate of steel. Woohoo! It's going to go on the outside, on the bottom, and as of right now, it still looks like that. But that's okay. It makes us happy. Took us a minute to figure out how to even get in it. And balance. And weld. But it's in there, and it looks great. The mail is here. He got a fun new toy, you know. Ended up making a lot more parts for that than he did anything else so far. got to get the stands built for the boat. I had pre-cut all this pipe for him, and I had gone out of town to go take my brother home, so he worked on the stands.
I had made 10 stands, probably too many for the size of the boat, but with the high winds that we get on occasion, it's best to be safe than sorry. This is one of the many gantry crane issues we had. It can lift 2 tons, so when it grabs a hold of something, it doesn't stop until it bends or breaks something.
Head banging. Oh my gosh, that one frame. Every single person has smacked into it. I think I did it the most, but maybe I just did it the most on camera. We ended up, well, Dad ended up getting me a hard hat for specifically that frame. We put foam around it, painted it so you could see it. No, we're still gonna hit it every time.
And yet another gantry crane lift issue. We cut that stringer, bent the heck out of it, ended up having to cut it out and doing it over again. It's spooky when that thing grabs a hold of something, and if we're not paying attention, stuff gets broken. Here I'd welded a lifting tab onto a plate, and I was using a gantry crane to bend this metal 3/8 inch plate up into place. The tack weld didn't hold, and when that thing lets go, your heart takes a jump.
So Caleb actually started a fire underneath where he is cutting that, and if you look real close, you can actually see the flame bouncing at the very bottom of the screen. Nobody had noticed yet. Plate falls. Dad then proceeds to tell him to put out his fire. Oh, look, a fire. Good job, Caleb.
Woo! Shit, fuck. What's the matter? You okay? Woo! Yeah, you got the glove. Oh.
Why didn't somebody tell me I had a fat roll at the base of my neck and a bald spot? Nobody told me this. This is why I don't want to do YouTube videos. Seriously.
So, breakfast one morning. Paul goes out and gets he and Dad burritos and hot sauce on the side. Dad's not one to shy away from things, so he'll go ahead and give this hot sauce a try. And absolutely not, he's not eating that. No. He reminds me of one of my kids when they give them hot stuff. It's fun.
I just want to point out here that that was hot. I mean, my whole head was on fire, and I even felt it the next day. Just saying.
So at some point in time, he decides that he is going to see if this is going to take the mill scale off of the steel and the hatch he's building right there. It doesn't, by the way, but, you know. I told him I wish I was here for this. This is still the same weekend that I went and take my brother home. And what's funny is if there's nobody out there at the moment. He's by himself. But if somebody's around, he'll get up real quick and look at you, see if you saw it, you know.
Hey, if nobody saw it, it didn't happen. Or if the camera's on. If the camera's on, then, yeah.